You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, ladies? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Hope everybody has had a wonderful weekend so far. Nevertheless, y'all, I do have a lot of projects and things that I'm working on. So, what I plan on doing is I am going to pick a specific day of the week and give y'all a specific time and what y'all know when my content will be available for live streaming. I realize there's a lot of bloggers that many of you view, such as myself, and I realize that sometimes when we do certain days of the week, like Fridays, the traffic is really heavy on YouTube, so it's kind of hard for y'all to want to view my channel. Then y'all got, the other queens on blogging, and it's just a lot of traffic. So I'm trying to pick and choose a specific date and time on which I can actually have my content available where the traffic is not so heavy. That way I can get more views. So once I come up with that specific day, I'm really thinking about possibly maybe Thursdays. I'm not sure, but I'm going to pick a certain day of the week in a specific time. And once I have figured it all out, I will let y'all know. Versus these different random times, it's been hard for a lot of y'all to catch me. And, I'm going to try to work on that. And like I said, this blogging thing, there's so many of us out here, there's so many people that are doing so well, and it's kind of hard to really push your content forward into the algorithms when you have a lot of bloggers that are not sparing any airtime for us smaller content creators. They are constantly uploading every day, several times throughout the day, which sorry my tooth, which I find that hard to do, because for me, my husband, he has his own business, so I'm the backbone of that. So I don't see how people can blog every day. That's just impossible for me to do. And not to mention, I'm also getting ready to go into my own business that I'm going to be starting, but I'll tell you more about that another time. But anyway, check my community tab. I am going to start giving y'all a specific day of the week in which my content will always be available, so I can try to be more consistent and basically ensure that all of you are aware, versus these different times and different days, and you're not sure which direction my channel is going. But anyway, pray for me to get it together on that, right? So make sure y'all hit that like button. I would appreciate it. The more likes, that's the better chance of my video, my content getting to the algorithm. So I appreciate that. Big ups to the Mod Squad who are in the chat. Appreciate y'all. Big ups to the new viewers that are just coming in. Make sure you subscribe, join the family. It's not going to cost you anything. Big up to my members that are tithing $3 faithfully every month. Again, I appreciate each and every one of you. Also, before I go into the content, I am collecting proceeds for a better microphone, for better audio. I'm trying to collect 200. So far, I'm at $30. So if everyone just tithe $5, if I have at least 28 people or more that tithes $5, that is more money that I can put towards getting a better microphone with better audio so I can have better quality streaming. Okay, so support your girl, or you can send more, $10, $20. But guess what? Beggars ain't choosy. Hell, send $2. Okay, any blessing is a blessing. So far, I'm at $25. Right. So just continue to tithe. But let's get into this. Right. So listen, I have to take a moment because it never fails that a lot of these men have still not figured out that losing 80% of what you have for 10%. Because I know the theory that was put out there, from Tyler Perry, 80-20. But T.D. Jakes been speaking on 80-20. He was the one who originally came up with that theory, but a lot of people kind of, took his theory and created their own narratives, but it originally came from T.D. Jakes, right? Before the ice swallowed it and all of this other bad publicity surrounding him. He gives a lot of, you might not like the messenger, but a lot of his messages are really impactful, right? So a lot of people have been running with the T.D. Jakes 80-20. But me personally, I really don't think it needs to be 80-20. I think it needs to be 80-10%. You know what I'm saying? Because these men are not even settling for 20. They are automatically demoting themselves to 10%. And I am definitely going to go into that. So, the truth of the matter is, marriage is not easy. Anybody who's been with their companions for 20 years or more have many stories that may discourage you from even wanting to make that type of decision, because the truth is, the longer you are in a stable, committed marriage, that is the more you're going to go through. So, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, ladies, but don't let these Tyler Perry series and these Tyler Perry movies really give you this false sense of hope that marriage is perfect and you're not going to go through anything. Things do happen. You do have adultery that happens. You do have issues such as addictions, whether if that's gambling, whether if that's alcohol, whether if that's sex addiction. You are going to deal with real life situations, losing a loved one together, possibly losing your own companion, possibly losing a child that y'all created together. There's a lot of things that requires having a healthy, wholesome marriage. And you're going to go through ups and downs. You're going through the better. You're going to go through the better, and you're going to go through the worst. All of that is a part of the package deal. And I will be honest with you. You will not survive marriage if you don't have the gift of forgiveness. Because you're going to have to forgive your significant other over and over and over and over. Not forgive them constantly, in a sense of them constantly disrespecting you, constantly cheating on you, constantly violating the marriage. And let me also tell you that cheating is not the only way a marriage can be violated. There's so many ways in which marriage can be tainted and can be polluted just based off of selfishness, just based off the fact that a person has an addiction they don't want to seek help or counseling for. Other issues as far as not being able to communicate and talk with that person. There's so many things that can cause a marriage to dissolve other than cheating. Cheating stands out the most because it is one of the most detrimental things that can happen in a marriage. But believe it or not, there's been many marriages that have ended and cheating had absolutely nothing to do with it. Just the fact that they could not communicate with that person anymore. Just the fact that this person is so asphyxiated on having things their way. So it's so many ways in which a marriage can lose running its course. So just don't become so fixated on I just can't deal with the cheating because there's so many other things other than cheating. What about his family? What if you don't get along with his mother, his father? What if you don't get along with his children from a previous relationship, a previous marriage? The fact we all have baggage, and one way or another, you're bringing your baggage, and if you're not bringing your baggage as a woman, he's bringing his baggage as a man. We all have baggage. It just pertains to how heavy your baggage is and who is willing to help you carry the load. That's what it boils down to, right? But this is what's going on, and this is the latest now. If y'all been, keeping up with my content, I did content not too long ago, talking about something in the alignment of, men who end up on a losing end, with their mistresses when they decide to step outside of their marriage and leave their marriages to be with their mistress, like Martell is doing with Angry Bird Arion, like Kevin Hunter left Wendy Williams to be with Sharina Hudson. We've seen this play out multiple times, and we've seen where these men end up when they make that decision, how they basically end up going from worse to far worse, while they think the wives they have are not supportive, not satisfying them enough, not appealing to them enough, or they don't find them attractive enough, or whatever the case is. They think they have the ultimate right to just leave their marriages and make the decision to go be with the other woman, only to find out the grass isn't greener on the other side, right? So I remember sharing a clip with Chad Ochocinco Johnson, and basically I commended him because he was being very transparent doing an interview. We're doing a podcast with Shannon Sharp, with Club Shay Shay, right? And they was having a very heartfelt conversation between two grown men, which I found to be very appeasing, because I love to hear when grown men can be transparent about their feelings. I don't like when men have egotistical conversations, like when Martell and Marceau and Maurice would be, basically co-signing and defending each other with the fuckboy shenanigans. Yeah, man, if only she would have just been quiet about you cheating, man, y'all could have survived. Y'all could have had a long-lasting marriage if only Mel would have kept her mouth closed. I despise when men encourage other men, to be thoughtless and to not take accountability, right? So the conversation between Shannon Sharp and Ocho was very refreshing, because Shannon Sharp basically goes into the theory of how 80% and 10% works. And I actually shared this with y'all on one of my recent uploads, and I was very, very, I guess, I don't want to say impressed, but I was relieved to see these two men come together and have this conversation, and to actually see Chad be in tears when he came to that realization that he realized how he jeopardized his 80 for a 20%. And just to hear a man be transparent and to see him, display tears and showing the soft side of him, putting aside the masculinity, egotistical era, I thought it was very refreshing to see that. Well, y'all, even your girl Mocha could fumble the ball, even with all this knowledge and wisdom that I have. Girl, now we find out why Ocho was pouring down boohoo crying. But let's go back down memory lane, just in case some of y'all forgot that clip. Hopefully, YouTube doesn't bother this. If not, I'm going to have to make it members only, which I don't want to do that, but hopefully that's not the case. But anyway, let's get into it. And I'm going to interject y'all like I always do. Just to keep the copyright down or whatever to a minimum. So y'all, this is when Chad Ochocinco has his heart-to-heart with Shannon Sharpe, and we thought he finally had awoken to bettering himself as a man. But let's just get into it, y'all.
Do me a favor. I promise I ain't gonna cry. I promise I ain't gonna cry. But bring that back one more time.
So he's saying, I promise I'm not gonna cry, but I want you to bring it back to me. Let's play this again.
90% of what we want, only to go be with somebody that has 10 to 20%. You see that? We'll get mad at the woman. She got 80 to 90% of what we want. We get mad. There come the 10 to 20.
Now I want to pause here. Shannon Sharpe just said, basically, we'll already have 80% of what we want. And we go through a turmoil in life, or when things don't go our way, or when we can't have what we want, we'll go and settle and jeopardize our 80% for that 20%. That's basically what Shannon Sharpe is saying. And what Ocho is saying, you know what, man, you just open my brain pores, man. Please speak that word to me again, man, because you just said something that resonated with me. Something that I didn't want to hear, something that I really wasn't trying to accept. But I thank you, brother, for opening your eyes to making me realize, man, I really needed to hear that. I'm normally not a man that cries, but in this sense, man, but because you made me woke, I had to let these tears out and really, you know, let it be known that what you said resonated with me.
You see that? We'll get mad at the woman. She got 80 to 90% of what we want. We get mad.
Fair use.
There come the 10 to 20. I need that. I promise you ain't crying. These are tears of joy. I need to hear that. Hey. Oh shit, right over the way.
Okay, so I'm gonna pump it there because YouTube is so freaking extra, bro. I mean, with that R. Kelly playing in the background, you know, hopefully it don't bother me about it. They let me get away with it last time, but you never know, right? So anyway, y'all, I was up here feeling sorry for this man until this was brought to my attention today. Now it makes sense why he was boo-hoo-hoo-hoo crying. Okay, his woman had enough, y'all, but I'm gonna let some of these other content creators speak on it because they have more familiarity with the situation. So let's get into it.
Yes, Chad has been one of those people who has been accused of dating someone who looks like his ex-wife. Ochocinco recently got engaged to the beautiful Charelle 𝓼𝓼, star of the former Selling Tampa, which I'm still irritated with Netflix for canceling that, but that's a whole other video. A lot of people say that she looks like his ex-wife, Evelyn Lozada. It's already Lozada, that kind of gets a little...
Well, of course, Ocho has a type, right? He likes them light brights, okay? He loves the light brights. And trust and believe, after this, he's going to get with another light bright. He has a type, okay? Come on, play it. I hate when this thing acts crazy, bro. Come on.
Little confusing and tongue-tying. But let's look at a side-by-side picture of Evelyn and Charelle to see if there are really similarities. Also, side note, she looks more like Nia Long to me in this picture, but anyway. Alright, here's a side-by-side. I got them in the same hairstyle, so you can really check it out. And there are some similarities here. Also, if I remember correctly, on Selling Tampa, she said that she slid in Chad's DM, so this could just be a coincidence and not intentional on Chad's part. Who knows? But yeah, I see it. They could definitely, you know, they share some similarities. But again, if they were their hair differently and their smiles are so different, but sure, on first glance, you might be like, wait, is that Evelyn or Charelle? Yes.
We know Chad has a type, but we're gonna play some more videos or whatever pertaining to the situation. So I like Kempire because he's always on point. Big ups to Kempire, as a matter of fact, on this.
You remember Charelle from Selling Tampa on Netflix, a show that we all loved. However, you also know that she was pregnant by Chad Ochocinco. Well, she took to social media today to reveal that the two have broken up. So she says this in a tweet. She says, Chad and I are no longer together. Please stop tagging us. He's a free man, ladies. But it doesn't end there because it gets messy. You know, all the ladies on the internet are like, oh, he's a free man. I'm going to slide in his DMs. Well, she had a response.
Fair use. Y'all know I got to interject and intervene. Let's go.
One young lady that said just that. Charelle responded to this woman that says, thanks sis, I will kindly slide in his DMs. She says, laughing out loud, hope you don't catch nothing sis. Look, we know people say things that might not be true after you've broken up. I don't know, did he cheat? But the fact that she responded in this way says to me that this wasn't an amicable breakup. And if she's telling this woman, I hope you don't catch something, did you? And why are you spreading? You remember Charelle.
And this is why he was crying, y'all. Just when I thought this man had a change of heart. Girl, I can't with these ninjas. We play this one.
Oh man, does anyone know what happened here? Ochocinco and Charelle are no longer together. Engagement is broken off. She had put, Chad and I are no longer together. Please stop tagging us. He is a free man, ladies. Now, usually when a woman lets you know he is a free man, ladies, that means he fucked up. But that's just an assumption. Who knows? Now remember, they had
they said she left her husband to be with him, y'all. If so, listen, karma is definitely due and is brewing. Let me see what this video is.
Yeah. How big of a thing?
Okay, well, he was proposing to her, obviously. And my thing is, you know, I can't take men like Ocho serious because anytime you've already been married multiple times, I don't think you really understand the significance of marriage. Not when you're on wife 2, 3, 4. I mean, and you popping out rings like a damn bubblegum machine. I just don't see how women feel special when a man proposes to them when he's been married multiple times. I just don't see how women feel special when a man has multiple children from women and he wants to have a child from you. I just don't see nothing special about it, right? But getting back into some old history, because you have a lot of these guys like Ochocinco who can only feel validated, who can only feel like a man if he has something young and trophy like on his hands. Now I can't say the same for Martell because we know Angry Bird is not a trophy, but y'all feel my drift, right? Same thing with Offset. You know, the majority of these men who like to complain that women have low self-esteem and we are always seeking attention and validation. Well, the truth is you have a lot of men who are also constantly seeking validation. They cannot be alone. They cannot learn how to just enjoy being by themselves, being in their own zen. They have to constantly have some type of woman around them to feel like a man, because a man should be able to feel like a man whether if he has a trophy under his hands or not. You get what I'm saying? But you have some men out here that are just as lonely as the women they complain about. But let me give you some other interesting things about Ocho. Ocho is one of those type of men, his ego has always been driven off of women. Has always been driven off of how many women he can get, how much, you know, action he can get from the women. You can just tell that he's one of those grown men whom at one time as a young boy never felt worthy. Of course he was raised in poverty, not to discredit his mother or his parents, but he didn't have a lot growing up, you know what I mean? So anytime you get grown men who become successful, like pretty much like a Kevin Hart situation, men who come from poverty, that was not the ideal guy that a lot of women was checking for or would be interested in. Why? Because in Kevin Hart's case, he had that short Napoleon man syndrome. Girls wasn't checking for him because he was average and he was short. Chad Ocho, I'm sure he probably was not the handsomest good young man around. He probably had an egghead, ashy, you know what I mean, scrawny, probably wore patches in his pants, you know. I'm sure he was not the cat's meow. So what happens, and same thing with Martell, right? A lot of these men who run into success, they run into options, whether if that success was off of their own skill and talent, like Ocho with his football career, or off another woman's successful coattail like Martell with his ex-wife Melody, or off the likes of a woman's popularity like Offset. Let's face it, nobody really was checking for Offset a whole lot till he got with Cardi B, right? Not saying he didn't have his own thing going, kind of like Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey. Yeah, Nick Cannon always had his own success, but it stood out even more once he got with Mariah. So a lot of these dudes, you know, they tend to start smelling themselves, you know what I mean, when they hit the jackpot, and they get attention from women who normally would not be checking for them in the event they did not have the money or the success that they currently have, right? But this is another issue at hand. Ocho had mommy issues, okay? He had mommy issues, right? Same thing as Martell, which you all know. Marlene, the drunk mermaid. We know that Marlene was never a mother to Martell. I don't know Offset's situation, so I can't say whole much about him. He possibly could have mommy issue too, just like Diddy, who have mommy issues. Basically, a lot of men who have mommy issues are men who come from households in which they really did not, in some instances, get all the love and the support and the nurturing they needed from their mothers, or their mother's way of nurturing was simply just letting them have their way. You got some women out of guilt because the father of their sons did not play an active role in their lives to compensate or to make up for that. They will intentionally give their sons everything they want or give in to everything they want. And I feel like that's what happened with Diddy and his mother. You have some women, because of that guilt of the father not being there, they just don't want to give their sons a hard time. They don't want to limit them, restrict them, give them rules out of guilt. And I kind of think that definitely Ocho had mommy issues. Now, if y'all don't remember, there was a show, a reality show back in the day, right? And I'm going to play a snippet of it. It was called Marriage Boot Camp Reality Stars Family Edition, in which you had all of these celebrities, right, that would come together, and they would basically come on this show, you know, to get a professional counseling or therapy to men, family issues, marital issues. And this particular episode, it was not more so married couples, but more so family, celebrities in their family who had some type of dysfunction or you know, issues, you know, within the family, and they really needed some type of professional or psychological help, right? So overall, the show had a good concept. But what I found to be interesting, and even though this show is it's every bit of what, 2017? Yeah, so it's relatively is well over 5 years old, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah, so it's well over like 7, 8 years old, right? You know, also rest in peace to Chad's mother, because she's no longer here, y'all. So definitely want to pay homage to his mom, right? But Chad and his mom always had a very turbulent relationship, and I know one of the reasons, based off of the show, not that I have an overall perception, but just based off of what I seen on the show, Mrs. Johnson, Chad's mom, definitely had alcoholism issues, right? All of us come from families in which there are some underlying issues, and unfortunately his mom had an issue with alcohol, right? But not only that, Chad and his mother did not get along. I didn't get that mother and son. It seemed more like a woman and just being in the company of a man she couldn't stand. I really didn't get, basically what I'm saying, I didn't get that nurturing, loving energy between Chad and his mother, which may play a big significant role in why Chad treats women the way that he does. But I'm going to play some snippets of it. I'm trying not to play the whole thing because, again, YouTube is such a pain in the behind. But this is imperative for us as women to understand that you have to know a man's history. Understand how he gets along with his mom. Understand if his father wasn't there, because a lot of men with mommy issues are going to look for you to fulfill the voids of being a mom. So let's get into it.
Is young, and I'm Chad's mom.
I played in the NFL for 13 years. Those that aren't fans, you would also know me for the trouble I got in 2011, domestic violence incident that caused me to lose it all.
Absolutely. Now, if y'all don't remember, he actually did the reality show with Evelyn, right, called Chad and Evelyn, in which this is when the relationship was new between the both of them, and they were actually going to do their wedding. They actually had a reality show in the making, in which they were going to actually have their wedding as part of the reality show. The reality show was going to be based off the wedding. But ironically, that's when those DV, that DV situation incident came about, and it wasn't an accusation. It actually happened because there was a picture going viral of the injury of Evelyn's forehead, right? So anyway, they were actually in process of, they had actually gotten married, okay? They had actually gotten married, and they was going to display the wedding on the reality show. But before the reality show could take off and get aired, the DV incident basically canceled that. Anytime you have situations like that come about, VH1, no network wants to display a show of a happily married couple, because that would be like them saying they support DV, right? So the show got pulled out the plug before they could even start. Now, I'm digressing, but let me tell y'all something. When I first found out about this show that they were currently filming, I knew that wedding was a recipe for disaster. Now, keep in mind, when Evelyn was on Basketball Wives bragging about Chad and how they were so wonderful, y'all probably don't remember, but I remember when Evelyn got nasty with her friend Jennifer, because Jennifer basically felt like Ocho Cinco was the type of dude that was all for show. She didn't really feel like he was genuine and authentic. Well, Evelyn, always being the stubborn, evil, conniving woman she's always been, she automatically felt like Jennifer was hating on her, and that caused the deterioration of their friendship, because Jen just felt like Chad wasn't what he put himself out there to be. And Jennifer ended up being right, which now we all know she can't even talk because of her current situation. That's why women got to be careful tearing down another woman's journey, because you never know where you're going to end up, right? You just never know. I don't care how great things are going your way. You just never ever can count out what you may have to encounter in the future with your own situation, right? But Evelyn and Jennifer's friendship went left, because she started smelling herself when she got with Chad. And we all who have been fans of Basketball Wives, we saw when Evelyn smashed Chad on the first night. But let me tell y'all how I knew this wedding wasn't going to last, right? I was not thinking because of DV. I did not think that he was going to head bump Evelyn. I didn't think it was going to be that. But the fact that she smashed him and got with Chad so quickly, that already was a recipe for disaster, because she really did not know him well and he really did not know her well. Now, we've always known Evelyn to be the chick that will jump on the table, throw drinks, will, hair pulling, kicking the shoes off. We've seen her act, a donkey on these reality shows, which is why some people didn't feel sorry for her, which no woman should ever have to deal with DV. But a lot of people seen that side of her and felt like she probably provoked it or brought it upon herself, which I would never co-sign on that. But let's just keep it a buck. Some women are just drama queens and very combative, and Evelyn has always had that combative spirit in which she will put hands on somebody in a heartbeat and cry victim. So you can take it either way, right? But let me tell you what stood out to me more than anything for why I knew this marriage wasn't going to last. Look at the shoes he had on. And I know y'all think of Mocha. What the hell? What does Chad's shoes have to do with the wedding not working out? Listen, y'all got to be woke. Y'all got to learn how to read the room. Think about it. Why? Out of all the weddings you've been to, if you never been to a wedding, I'm sure you've seen them on TV. I'm sure you've been to a friend's wedding or somebody wedding job. You never seen a married man wear shoes that stand out more than his bride's wedding dress. Just think about it. Think about it, right? No real husband wants to outshine his wife-to-be, his bride. What type of shoes do most grooms wear? Plain black shoes. Period. It don't matter how the suit looks, right? He always, most of the time, the groom wears plain black shoes. Whether it's patent leather, shiny, they're always black. The fact that he had on gold shoes with gold spikes, not even coordinating. Gold was not coordinating with nothing Evelyn had on. She was not wearing any gold. It goes to show that the wedding was all about him. He was trying to outshine his own wife at the time. Anytime you have a man that's trying to out showcase you on your own wedding date, that's a red flag. Because not to say that a man's purpose in the wedding is not as important as the woman's, but most of the time men are not trying to outshine their wives, because they know that is your date. That is your special wedding date. Your family going to be there, your friends are going to be there. He wants you to enjoy this day. He does not want to outshine you. He knows how important the bride is as far as the looks and really being the one to stand out. So he's not going to take away your shine. When Chad wore those gold shoes with gold spikes, I knew without a shadow of a doubt, ladies, that he was not the man for her. Ain't no man going to try to outflex or outstunt his bride on her wedding day. Boom. I bet a lot of y'all wasn't thinking that. That's the first thing I thought about. Why the hell is he wearing? I still want to know. Oh, I already know. I just told y'all though. Because it was about him. And with Chad, that is the problem. It's always been about him. And this is going to also validate that, because even his own mama is going to say it. But I digress. Let's get back into this.
I am here to repair my relationship with my mom.
When I was 5 years old, my mom left me with my grandmother, so there's always been a disconnect.
I think he
Okay, so basically his grandmother always had the majority of the role of parenting throughout his life, and his mother was not there.
He felt as though I deserted him, I abandoned him, but I just didn't want to uproot him.
The current status of our relationship is we're talking. It's
And let me tell y'all something. Anytime a man has had abandonment issues with his mother, he will take you through so much due to the fact that he wants you to prove that you're going to be consistent. It's sad, but just like you have some women, they only feel like a man only loves them if he's beating on them. This is the same way of men who have dealt with abandonment as little boys feel. They feel like as long as I keep mistreating her and dragging her and treating her like garbage, as long as she stays, she loves me. And it's also to prove, because this is the psychology of men who have suffered from abandonment, that if I mistreat her and she leaves, that means she was going to leave me anyway. So she was never for me. She never loved me. She never cared about me. But if she loves me, she will stay and deal with me no matter what I do, no matter how much I disrespect her, because her staying, regardless of how much I mistreat her, it proves her loyalty, and it proves that she would never abandon me. You will be surprised how neglect will psychologize a person into believing that if a person really loves them, they will stay no matter what. It's crazy, but that's how. Unfortunately, that is the mindset that a lot of men have. When a mommy abandon them, they feel like, hell, if a woman really loves me, she'll stick with me and not abandon me.
somewhat distant. I do see her very often, but you know, the times I do spend there are very short.
My mom is a ticking time bomb when she thinks she's right, and it ain't pretty.
Damn.
And you got it honest. You're a ticking time bomb too, Chad. Just about every woman you've been with have seen you explode. We've seen the little bit of incidences that have taken place in which you have blowed up, you have physically assaulted other women. Well, I've only known of Evelyn, but I'm sure she was not the only one. Women do not stick with Chad, no matter, even though he has all of this money, and he's not an ugly guy, he's a handsome guy, but something about him that makes women not want to stay with them. And he keeps picking up beautiful, attractive women, but something is not quite right with him, you know, and that's why women keep leaving. You have issues too, Chad. The apple don't fall too far from the tree. Funny how he saw it in his mom, but he couldn't see it within himself.
There goes the neighborhood. Chad doesn't talk. So if I say something, it's always the wrong thing. You're not going to always hear what you want to hear. Chad is a damn fool. He has to leave his sperm in every relationship.
Listen, when she said that, I got to play it back. Listen, say what you want to say, but mom's was cutthroat. She was raw. And her personality is just, oh my gosh, she was just so authentic. You know what I mean? She was with her mom. She just gave it to you raw. And if you couldn't handle it, you would get offensive by it. But I had to play that back because she told no lies. A mother knows her son.
Sperm in every relationship.
I didn't play it all.
Hear what you want to hear. Chad is a damn fool. He has to leave his sperm in every relationship.
I have 6 kids.
I have enough money for that.
Good, spend it all.
I'm cheap.
Spend it all on 50 damn children. Stupid man. Chad needs to believe in me.
Oh my gosh, I thought that was so funny, y'all. Chad has to leave kids in he has to leave sperm in every mother effing relationship. And she told no lies. Listen, Chad has 8 kids, right? And I'm gonna show you. Beautiful children, might I add, okay? So this is just a reference as to why Chad has a history of not being a consistent, committed man. All right, this was when his recent wife, Charelle, was pregnant at the time with their daughter. This is all his children, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay, and the 8th that she's carrying. So his oldest is 26, and she's doing really well. She's in real estate. Matter of fact, she was one of the real estate agents who was also working within the same real estate agency as his soon-to-be ex-wife, I believe. Might as well call her soon-to-be ex-wife. So I will say this, Chad did, and I can't give him all the credit, but the mothers of his children that he's chosen so far has made sure that his kids are doing well. Chad Johnson II is playing football for I think he's playing for Sun Devil now. Let me see, between the Northern and the Arizona State Sun Devils. So his firstborn son did get the talents of being a successful athlete. Hopefully he does not get the other parts of his father, like having multiple baby mamas and multiple children. Hopefully he does not keep that generational curse going. But his other daughter's 21, has beautiful children. I will give him that. All of them are doing something. She has her own business as well, y'all, majoring in health. So she was attending school at the time and everything. So all his kids are doing really good. I give him that. He's definitely a hands-on dad. So big ups to Chad for being a hands-on dad. He's active in their life. You know what I mean? He had this daughter here in 2005. I'm not even giving y'all the years. Let me go back right quick. Had his oldest daughter, 98. Chad the second, 2002. Next daughter, 2003. 3 years later, his third child, 2005. 14-year-old, there's no picture of her. But I guess for that reason, maybe the mom just want her child to just enjoy being a child, right? So gave his dad a birthday shout out. Okay, so he does have another son, okay, that was born 2010. Okay, so he has another son. 6th child. This one, her mom is being smart and not putting her all out there on social media for everyone to see. But yeah, in 2018, he did get a paternity suit that was filed by Alexa Farquharson. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And he was confirmed to be the father of the 7th child, another little girl. And he had another one from the last relationship, Crystal Bates. She is 5 years old, named Kennedy. He has some strong genes, that's for sure. Okay, and then Serenity Hurricane Paula Johnson, age 2, that he just had from his wife. Okay, so getting back to the situation, right? When a man loses 80% for a 10% hurt. 10%, right? A man that does not have self-assurance, meaning that he's not sure of himself, he's not sure of where he wants to go in life, he has no real goals or ambition, he would pretty much land himself anywhere. A man who has a purpose, he has a plan, he's going to be very careful and very selective with the choices and the decisions that he makes. The problem is, what I'm noticing as a pattern, men who lack stability cannot give a woman something that they don't have within themselves. Ocho, Martell, Offset, there's so many of these type of men out here who don't have a solid, stable ground. And unfortunately, when you run into these type of men that are broken, these men seek for you to heal them through all the wrong things. And what I mean is when you get a man that's broken, because that is the reality. These men are broken men. Ironically, they all fall into different categories, but they are broken in their own way. Chad, a professional athlete, broken. Martell, a house husband who lived up to the success of his ex-wife, broken. Offset, a young successful rapper, broken. Kevin Hunter, a broken man who lived off of the success of his ex-wife's name, Wendy Williams. You don't have to just be black. You don't have to just be white. You don't have to just be successful and non-successful. Broken men come on so many different levels, right? And what happens is when you meet a broken man, he's going to seek you. He's going to make you responsible of helping him to become whole. Whether if that comes through your sex, whether that comes through your money, through your success, they're going to look for you to fill in the gaps. And these are the type of men that are going around here producing children. Not because they really enjoy being fathers. Well, I'm not going to, that wouldn't be fair to say, because I feel like Chad Johnson has more fatherly, qualities compared to Martell. But basically what I'm saying is that they will have children for multiple women, or will have children from a woman, period, as a sense of attachment and a sense of accomplishment. You have men who think children are just a badge of their masculinity. It's just a badge to say, see, I can produce children. Not because I really want to be a father, or not because I'm stable or mentally capable of being a really good father. My children are just a badge of my masculinity to prove that I'm a man because I can have children. You have some men who think on that note, just like you got some women out here, I'm a mother because I can have children. Absolutely not. Even roaches breed children, but that don't make them mothers, okay? So, when you get with these broken men and you try to bring them into a life in which you're giving so much of yourself, you're giving so much of yourself as a wife by sharing all of your success with him. You're giving so much of yourself that you are willing to bear children, to build a family with them. You're giving so much of yourself to where you're willing to put your dreams on hold just so that they can fulfill theirs. Or you're giving so much of yourself that you're willing to do all the driving while he sits on the passenger side and just enjoy the ride, and you the one that's going out there hustling and grinding. This is why you have these broken men who seek the 80%er, the woman who has the majority of everything they need, because it makes life a lot more easier for them. A woman who can hold her own, because you have a lot of women who love to go around and scream, I'm independent, I'm successful, I don't need a man. But the problem is when you meet the broken man, he loves that. He thrives off of that. He's not threatened by that. Not to the point where he's not willing to be with you to use you for it. Now, keep in mind, a man will be with you threatened by the fact that you are more successful than him. But guess what? He would not have a problem still using you and lying to you so he could benefit off your success, even though he's threatened by it at the same token. So what does he do when he's threatened by your success? He's volatile. He's emotionally, mentally, in some cases, physically abusive. Like Martell. Martell wanted to use Melody for her success. So what he would do was emotionally and mentally beat her down to where she would feel so much, where she would lack so much self-worth that she would be willing to give him everything, even if it meant her compromising herself in the process. And Mel was not that chick, and that is why to this day Martell despises her, because he really thought once they had children together, once they had a marriage together, that she would always be beholden to him. Because you have men who capitalize off a woman's dreams of wanting a family. It's men out here who know that there are women who desire marriage. There are women who desire family. There are women who desire that American dream. And what these men will do, they will give you just enough to fulfill that American dream. Not because they want to build with you, but they want to build off of you. There's a difference. It's one thing if you and a man is coming together and y'all are having children to build a legacy, to years down the line, you know, carry the family name. That way your great-great-grandchildren will still be blessed abundantly even when you dead and gone, right? The problem is when you're dealing with the broken man, he does not know how to build with you. He's too threatened by that. He ready to build off you. Now, keep in mind, this does not make men like Chad Ochocinco exempt because he's successful. Even successful men have their own ways of wanting to build and benefit off of you. Like, I feel like with Chad, he built off of women simply to stroke his ego. He's always been a very egotistical guy. And you have a lot of guys like this. I think Lil Scrappy from Love and Hip Hop also has that same issue. You have some men that feel like men as long as a woman is stroking their ego, telling them how fine they are, letting him know how good his wood is. You know what I mean? You believe it or not, just like you got women that walk around here thinking because every man has complimented how big their butts are, and they mind they think that's a prize. You have men that simply get off on women, constantly telling them how good they are in bed. And they really think as long as they are using that magic stick that they ultimately are the prize to women. You will be surprised of the men that go around here thinking that they are prized because of their penis. They think their penis makes them a prized possession to women. Why? Because you got the Arians out there. You got the Sharina Hudsons out there. You got a lot of these side chicks who are stroking their egos. Or you have their own wives that are defending them, knowing that they are married to fuck boys. You know what I'm saying? And you got some women that are married to him or ride or die. Oh, not my husband. He's the king. He's this. He's that. He's blah, blah, blah. And you only find out in the long run, you don't get treated no better than the other women before you. I would not be surprised. Listen, and I'm going to just be frank. You have a lot of these women that got what was called pretty girl privilege, right? They think because they look a certain way that they're automatically God's gift to men. This doesn't mean they're not nice women, they're not sweet women, but you have some women who walk around thinking that because they have light skin privilege, because they have pretty hair, all because, you know, they know how to give dome real good. You got women that are walking around here with this delusional self of confidence like, I am that chick. I will not be treated like what the other women in his past settled for. You have women who get with these guys like Cardi B and Ocho's soon to be Rosario, and it's automatically the sense of I am the ultimate prize. I'm not going to get treated like other women have been treated. I am going to make this man a change, man. I'm going to give him that act right. I got the power to give him that act right. And what he going to know how to act right with me because I'm beautiful, I'm stunning. And it's just something about women that are very beautiful and highly attractive just think they are exempt from a man cheating on them. And these are the ones that are quick to want to air them out and let it be known I'm done with him. I don't want him anymore. And I understand that. Once a man has violated you and disrespected you, it's only right for you to want nothing to do with them. But I think a lot have to do with he bruised your confidence because you walked around here thinking you was this top notch, like it'll never happen to me because I got it going on. I got the complexion for the connection. I am that chick. Listen, they running and getting surgeries, getting all kinds of stuff done to their body to prove that they are that chick, and thinking that the more work I get done in my body, the more I bleach my skin, or the more, I'm doing all these wonderful things in the bedroom, somehow, somewhere, I'm gonna make this man just melt like M&M's in my hands, and he's never gonna cheat on me. He's never gonna even want nobody else. His eyes are only gonna be for me. But when you're dealing with a broken man, his eyes are gonna always be wondering. You will never be able to please a broken man enough. You will never have enough to keep him satisfied. Ariana Air Mattress is finding that out the hard way. Okay, I'm sure she's giving Martell way more dome than she's ever given him. I'm sure because they got all the free will now, because Mel basically handed Martell to her. Like, here you go, sis, do what you will. Now, she has all the room, and I'm sure she's been utilizing all of that to prove to Martell that you should be with me. We should be together. And Martell is still not taking it to that next level. However, when a man loses 80 for 10%, it's because that 80% still was not enough to fulfill his brokenness. I'm going to have to tell some of your sisters, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. There's nothing you could, listen, I want women to stop blaming themselves right now. For any man I ever cheated on you, any man I ever violated you, disrespected you, embarrassed you, humiliated you, keep in mind, there was nothing you could have done to change that man's brokenness. It was already there. I don't care if you didn't give him sex, didn't give him enough sex, whatever excuse he came up with, it was not going to matter. What's in a man shall come out. If he lacks discipline with his sexual urges, it did not matter how you slide or the ride or the glide, sis. He still was going to pass that peen out like the collection plate at Ebenezer Baptist Church. It does not matter. You cannot fulfill the needs of a broken man who already had mommy issues before you came along, who already had abandonment issues before you came along, who already have poverty issues, and even though now you're introducing him to this new life where y'all can have it all, it's that little boy in him that's still holding on to that poverty and still feels like no matter how much you give him materialistically, he still has to seek a 10%er. And you wonder why? Because you look at yourself and you look at the other woman and you know you look better than her. You know you're more educated than her. You know there's absolutely nothing she had to offer. And you're beating yourself up and wondering, you cannot fulfill the needs of a broken man. It did not matter. He was going to find a 10%er. And until a man could come and can become transparent with himself, not like Chad, only transparent for the TV and the cameras, he should have had that epiphany long time ago. Because Chad has been with multiple women. He already knows the program. He ain't no young 18, 19-year-old just getting out there and learning women for the first time. They're going to always be for 10% because a broken man, he has not programmed himself into learning how to deal with his failures in life in other healthier ways other than getting between the thighs of another female. You have men, they will go to bed with another woman first before they go to counseling. The broken man will sleep with multiple women before he sit down and tell his wife, I am not happy with my life. I'm not happy with still feeling as a failure as a man. These ninjas will go out and cheat before they be transparent and tell you what is wrong in their lives. Because the truth is, they don't even want to face it. They want somebody that's going to comfort them in their lives. That is where the 10%er comes in at, right? A woman that's not going to question anything. A woman that's going to open her door 3, 4 in the morning and say, come on in, Big Daddy, and come get some of this sweet, sweet. See, the 10%er is not going to make him be a man. If anything, she's going to allow him to make demands and constantly be in command of what he wants. See, it's easy to go to the 10%er because the 10%er is not going to require much but the bust a nut and a 2-piece and a biscuit and a strawberry Fanta. That's it. See, a broken man has to find a cheap deal. He's always looking for a bargain. He already got a wife at home that's requiring a lot of him, right? He already got that 80%er that's saying, no, you're gonna have to keep the kids. You're gonna have to help pull the bills. You're gonna have to get another business because I'm not gonna be the only one out here making business move. See, the 80%er, the wife at home, is going to require more. While the 10%er, she doesn't require much. So it's easier for a man to feel bigger with the 10%er because he does not have to do a lot to earn her worth, to earn her body, to earn her convenience. And in many instances, you have men so broken, it don't take much to make them feel big. Just the fact that she knows how to moan and groan when he's hitting it left and right. That's enough to make him feel like he's that 80% by himself. Yes, that's what it's all about. It's all about, I need my ego fed. I need my ego stroked. I need validation because the little boy in me, I don't want to face my issues that I'm still traumatized from in my childhood. It's easier to go lay up than to get prayed up. It's easier to go find someone to dump my trash in. That's what they do with the 10%ers. They dump their trash. Listen, when these men go creeping, these married men go creeping to these apartments, right? 2, 3 in the morning, knowing they got a wife at home, knowing they got children at home, this and that, whatever, right? It's easy for them to take their frustrations out on the 10%er. Why y'all think it's pleasure, right? Because that's as women we thinking, okay, he going over there because she sexually turns him on. No, it's because he can dump his trash. He can dump his frustrations. Listen, a man can lay with a woman and feel absolutely nothing. I know y'all don't want to hear this. I know y'all don't want to hear it, right? Because it's like, how can a man, if he loves me, he won't violate me, he won't cheat on me? It has nothing to do with love. It has everything to do with the fact that you have broken little boys that are walking around in grown men bodies and don't know how to deal with their problems as mature adults. So what they do, I'm having a bad day at work, I'm stressed out, I got to pay the mortgage, my wife is expecting me to hold up all of these responsibilities. I got to pay the mortgage, pay her car notes, do all this and that. She's not realizing I'm getting stressed out at this job. I got too many projects going on. Not only that, I got kids, daddy, read a book to me, daddy, take me to soccer practice. I got all of these things going on in my life, right? And because of my ego, I'd rather not get counseling, get therapy, get some type of, mental support. It's easier for me to find a 10%er. Well, I can knock on her door 2, 3 in the morning. She doesn't ask questions. She does not care about what is wrong with me. The 10%er is not going to say, no, I looks like you're overwhelmed. No, you can't keep coming over here laying up with me because you are not man enough to deal with your problems. You cannot keep using my vagina as a garbage disposal because you have so much anger or so much stress built up in you that you don't care you don't care about who you release yourself into. The 10%er is not going to make him recognize his own demons. If anything, she's going to participate in his demonic activities. I got a word, y'all. That's the succubus. I'm going to be a willing participant in your brokenness. Know why? Because she's broken. Because every woman is not going to allow herself to become that garbage disposal. Because that's exactly what your vagina is. Anytime you let somebody else's husband release his seed into your body, you have become a garbage disposal. Because he does not want to deal with life. He's not man enough to say, I'm tired, I'm stressed. You got to get around your wife and be big man. You know why? Because you feel that if you be transparent and you tell her how weak you really feel, how weak you really are, you feel like now you can't stand on her neck. I'm telling you, that's what Martell did. That's what a lot of them are doing. They will not be transparent with the wife at home that's strong. They're not going to be transparent with the strong woman. Because they feel like once they become vulnerable and tell you, and I'll say, some women, we do take a man's transparent information and sometimes we do attack them with it. Sometimes we do brutalize them with it. And in this instances, this is why some men don't feel comfortable with coming to us. But this is not always the case. You have some men that are not going to share their brokenness because, for one, in order to share your brokenness, you first have to acknowledge that, one, you are broken. And for two, you got to identify that you are broken. So, truth is, a lot of them can't say or admit that they are broken because they don't even know that they are. But anytime you have to sneak and creep and lie to your wife multiple times to go lay up with your 10%er, that is a sign of brokenness. That is why Ocho Cinco those tears are real, right? I would say that. Those tears are real. But they were real for the wrong reasons. You should have felt that brokenness the moment you stopped doing what you was doing and you had to go home and look at your wife and knowing what you just did. What it took for him to realize his brokenness, it took his wife to say, you know what, I'm done. Because apparently when he did that interview, she had already washed her hands with them. That's why when she was hashtag, she said, ladies, y'all can have them. I'm done with it. She been washed her hands. She did the mail. I'm done. I wash my hands. I'm good. Another woman slides up in his inboxes. Why? Because you know the Jezebel spirit. That succubus spirit is at an all-time high. Everybody wants, you know what I'm saying? These Pookie prize possession, meaning the Pookie who thinks he's a prize, like Martell and Ocho. Only difference, one is a broke Pookie and the other one is a rich Pookie, but they both Pookies. Why? Because they have no value within themselves, so therefore they don't value the kind of women they pick up. That's 10% that's going to jeopardize their 80%. You have these prize-possessed Pookies who walk around here thinking that they are God's gift to women, not understanding that they are actually women's worst nightmares. So so no matter how beautiful or stunning or educated a woman is, they still seek validation. You know, like an addict seeks meth. An alcoholic seeks alcohol. You ever been to a bar and noticed how a person who drinks heavily, they just drink until they pass out? You already can see across the room that they are past their limit, that they had one too many, and even they know it, but they keep on going because it's that spirit of greed, of I got to have as much of this as possible, even though I know this is ruining me, even though I know this is killing me. Let me tell you something. The biggest disease that's killing the majority of American society is not just STDs, it's not just alcohol, it's not just debt. The biggest disease that's killing half of America is called lust. Because these men are not understanding. when they don't keep their penis in their pants. It opens the gateways to a whole lot of unnecessary problems down the road. These men end up going through millions in debt, with child support, with courts, with lawyers. If it's not costing them money, it's costing them peace of mind. The fact that you got to keep manipulating the angry bird just so she don't get mad enough to take you to the cleaners. You got to keep lying to her. You got to keep playing a role, losing your peace of mind, pretending that you care just so you keep her at bay. It costs you your peace of mind. Most importantly, it costs you your marriage, which was your 80%. Yes, the woman might have been a nag. Yeah, she might ain't always gave you dome or sloppy toppy any and every time you wanted it. But this is the thing. A man doesn't realize how much less of that 10% is until he completely loses that 80%. Now, as long as he still has that 80% and he's able to get that 10% on the side, he really does not see where he's losing. But once that 80% is stripped from him and all he has left is that 10%, he sees it real clear. That's why Martell is rebelling. See, when Mel's money was there, that 80% was compensating for that 10% that he was getting from Air Mattress. Same thing. That's why Chad had that episode, you know. And I don't think he was fake about the tears. I personally feel like he realized he's an effed up ninja. Like, ain't no hope for me. I can't get it together. That's what I gathered from it. I didn't get no, I realize I'm wrong. I need to be a better husband. I'm effed up. And I don't know what it takes at this point to even correct it. Because I've been dysfunctional for so long. I've nested in this egotistical attitude from so long. I don't know how to come of it. You get what I'm saying? So, anyway, this is what happens when a man loses 80% for 10%. He becomes bitter. He becomes egotistical. He becomes hateful. He becomes revengeful. Martell. Or he just keeps nesting for other women, like Offset. Or he just keeps losing women, like Ocho. Until these brothers get some real healing, it don't matter what woman slides into their DMs. He's going to destroy. Listen, all of these dudes are hurricanes, okay? They're tornadoes, right? They're going to destroy and wreak havoc in any woman that comes their way. At any woman that comes in their path, they are going to destroy them. Don't think you have the magical powers to make a broken man become a better man, honey. That healing God has to do. You are not God. You don't have the power to change these men, to make them better. But I'm grateful, you know what I mean, that, you know, she sees him for what he is. And, you know, she realizes, you know what, I can't hold on to him just to prove a point. But at the same time, it's going to only make me miserable in the long run. So I commend her on that. So anyway, getting back into my other little thing I would like to share with you all. So, let me get out of this here. I just want to share my website with you all. So let me see. I'm trying to get to it. And make sure y'all hit that like button, because I know this word tonight has been awesome. I know it's been awesome. So make sure y'all support a sister. Hit that like button for me if you don't mind. I would appreciate that. Definitely. So I'm trying to share my website with y'all, but let me see how to get this here. Okay, all right. I think I put it up. So, in case any of you were not aware, I am starting my own agency. Goes by the name of New Start Intervention Program. I am currently certified and taking cases in which people are court ordered for family domestic violence cases and anger management. So basically what I do, if anyone in the state of Georgia, okay, it don't matter what county you in, it don't matter what city you are in, as long as you are in the state of Georgia. Now keep in mind, for those of you who are not in the state of Georgia and you are mandated by a judge or a court to take domestic family violence or anger management, you are more than welcome. Still reach out to me. If the judge will make an exception and allow you to take a certified family violence or anger management intervention program, and if they need verification of certification, I will email you the information. So some jurisdictions, some courts will allow you to take a family violence and anger management class from other counties and states, as long as it is certified. But you have to check of that in your county. That won't be my job to do. You have to ask the judge, listen, I would like to go to New Start Anger Management or take family domestic violence for New Start, but the agency is located in Georgia. Will I still be able to take the class? Because most of my classes, well, all of them are going to be conducted virtually, okay? Which means you're not going to have to travel from your house. You will actually be doing your classes virtual live, not pre-recorded with me. So if you or anyone you know has to attend a domestic family violence class, meaning that person had got into a domestic violence altercation with their wife, with their son, and it's just not a husband and wife thing. It could be a baby mama, baby daddy, boyfriend, girlfriend. If anybody was arrested for domestic violence and they have to take a court-ordered class, if you are in the state of Georgia, you can take it through me. Or if you're outside the state of Georgia, you have to check with your probation officer or check with your local judge to see if they will allow you to take it with someone in another state. Now, I will be on the Georgia State website shortly, so you will be able to show the judge that I am certified, that I'm not just somebody off the street that's not certified and being able to conduct these classes with you. Now, I will say that family violence classes are only 12 weeks, meaning you will be court mandated to go to one class with me once a week for 90 minutes. And after 12 weeks, you will be done with the program. I will email you your paperwork for you to send to your judge, for you to send to your probation officer, and all of that good stuff, and you're completed. When it comes to domestic family violence, it's a different ball game. It takes up to 6 months. So you're looking from anywhere to 25 to 27 weeks, okay, before you can complete your domestic violence class and have it cleared with your probation officer and your judge. Because domestic violence is actually an act that resulted in an arrest. That is the reason why the classes are much more longer and more extensive, okay? So, if you need to take those classes, email me, inbox me. I will help you to the best of my ability, and you will be seeing me live in the flesh. It's not going to be no behind the scenes. All certified family violence intervention professionals, we have to cam up, we have to interact with all of our participants live, so it's totally different from when I do a blogging, right? But anyway, this is my website in which I actually break down all of the different things that I do. But right now I'm only doing domestic family violence for men and for women, okay, for both. When I do family violence classes, men and women will not be doing them together, okay? I'll just be doing a men's class separately and a woman's class separately. Anger management, on the other hand, is different. You will be intermixing with men and women in that class, right? So, if you're court mandated, I am officially certified now, in which I will be able to register you with my agency, okay? And again, it's all virtually, so the beauty is you can attend my classes from your mobile device, from your PC, anywhere without you having to leave your home. Only thing I recommend is you have to have strong, solid internet. If you're having too many internet connections issues and you're not able to remain in the class the whole 90 minutes and you keep having internet problems, I am going to have to drop you from the program, because we cannot be using, well, I have bad internet connection as a reason for you to have to keep dropping out the class early and leaving the class early. So just be mindful of that. It's part of Georgia State certification. So I'm very strict, and I'm going to be very strict when it comes to how I conduct my agency, all right? So anyway, just letting you know what I do in the event, right? For you go spending your money anywhere else, you're welcome to check with me. I got decent rates, decent prices, and I just want to most importantly help you be successful, get your record straight. So you go back to your judge, hey, I completed anger management, hey, I completed domestic violence. So I just want you to basically be able to restart your life, rebuild, and know that you've been given all the effective tools in order to have a successful new start. So big ups to everybody again. Make sure y'all hit that like button before you leave. And I know Christmas coming up soon, right? So get ready to put in your order for your tumblers, y'all. Start putting in your gifts early. Inbox me. Let me know. I do sports cups. I do any of your favorite beverages, drinks, anything you want on those cups. I can even put personalized photos on the cups. You want to put pictures of your pets, pictures of your grandchildren, pictures of your husband, wife, whoever. Inbox me. Your grandparents got an anniversary coming up. I even do a discount in which if you order 5 or more, I'll take $2 off every cup. So I got some good specials coming up. But anyway, just inbox me, y'all. And again, be careful with that 80-20, but in my perception, I'm going to say 80-10. Anyway, y'all be blessed. And until next time, please hit that like button on the way out. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.